Good morning, everyone. I really hope that you guys can hear me and that this video works, because the last time I filmed in this position, I was doing a video on body image with cerebral palsy, and it didn't work. So I'm like praying to anyone who's listening, please let this work. Today, I'm coming at you with a video that I'm so excited to talk about. We're doing fashion content. What? Okay. So I have been in the fashion content realm for years. Absolute years. It is one of my favorite things to watch, to consume, to read about, to draw, all of these things. And in the past, I want to say 3 years, I find that certain systems have blown up, right, within the fashion realm, such as color analysis, kibbie body types, Kitchener essences, face types, archetypes. The thing that I don't like about those systems, as much as they are so helpful for certain types of people, the type of people that get incredibly over analytical about their appearance, aka me, myself, and I find that it can almost become an excuse to overanalyze. And again, I find that for certain people it can work really well. If you don't have an eye for fashion already, it is a great starting point. But if you already have an eye for fashion, if you have indulged in fashion your entire life, then to get these quote-unquote rules to follow dampens your creativity. And that is why I'm coming to you in a very comfortable situation, because this is going to be a bit of a long video, about the Celestial Muses. So I will link a creator down below called Melissa, and I believe her handle is Silky Mochi. Excuse the outside noise. And she talks about the dark muses as aesthetics, and I love that. I absolutely adore it. I love darker things. I love dark aesthetics. I find that there is such a beauty in darkness that we don't allow ourselves to explore enough, and so 100% go to her video for that. But I wanted to take my own take on it, because even within the dark muses, I found within myself that I was like, oh, but I don't look like a vampire. I don't look like a mermaid. I don't look like a witch. I don't have fairy-like features. And again, it became, and this could just be my own mind, but it became, again, a thing of my physical body becoming a limitation of what my fashion should be and what my style should be. And I already deal with enough limitations due to my body as it is, being a woman with a disability. I don't need fashion to have limitations, which is why the Celestial Muses have no archetype. There is no archetype. It is simply the energy of the planet that you wish to connect with. Now, a little bit of a backstory. I have been an astrology enthusiast since I was 13, so a good 6 years, coming up to 7 years. I have analysed my own chart, I've analysed so many other people's charts, I have read books upon books about the planets and about the systems and all of these things, and I wanted to combine my two passions together. And so, let's get into it. As we all know, if you do follow astrology, if you don't, we have the main... oh my god. We have the 12 planets. Why I had to count that is ridiculous. But we have the 12 main planets. They are Earth, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Venus, Mars, Mercury, the Moon, and the Sun. Now, I have my computer here because I have mood boards that I'm gonna like put up on the screen for you guys. And the goal with this, like the Dark Muses, is to choose the one that you feel most drawn to. And it's not a matter of, oh, well, I'm a Pisces, so I have to dress Neptunian, or I'm a Cancer rising, so I have to dress like the moon, or I have a, I don't know, a certain Mars placement, so I have to, no. We're not doing that. You can if you want to. I'm not going to tell you that you can't, but it is purely what you feel drawn to when I describe the planets. Now, I did have this on my phone and I'm recording on my phone, so we are kind of just having to go off memory here. But let's start with sun. So when we think of the sun, we think of warmth. We think of golden tones, we think of oranges. I personally think of browns. I also think of warm greys, because for me, my favorite time to look at the sun is either in golden hour or is in like that dusky period of time where there's heaps of clouds and the sun's like peering through the clouds and you get that beautiful warm grey. I think another thing that a lot of people are probably going to talk about is, oh, but I'm not warm toned, I'm not cool toned, I can't, shh, okay? Every colour has a warm and a cool undertone. Some, okay, yes, are predominantly warm, some are predominantly cool, but you can get both. And also, again, fashion has no rules. Yes, certain colours may be more flattering, but like I said in my other video, which I'll put up here, flattering is a construct. It is literally a man-made construct to tell particularly women, oh, you have to look like this, otherwise you're undesirable. No, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. No, okay? I'm gonna wear what I want. The sun archetype. So of course you have the colors, but you also have, for me, when I think of the sun, I think of, honestly, I think of the 70s. I think of big glasses, I think of big hair, I think of psychedelic patterns of daisies and flowers. Of course, you can even do the motif of the sun in your clothing. I also think if you want to go into metals, I think of course, gold, but also bronze and copper. I think are beautiful, particularly when you mix them. I also think of glow mesh. So if you want an interesting texture to work with glow mesh. I think it encapsulates that kind of liquidation of the sun. I know that's a really weird thing to say, but I don't know about you, but when I look at the sun, or I look at what the sun does, it creates shadows, it creates light, and so it kind of is liquidated in the sense of it's always changing what it does. Editing me here, I also just wanted to say that linen fabrications are a really good idea for the sun also, because you can play into the imagery of like sun coming through the curtains. So if you wanted a bit more of a lighter fabric to work with, that's a good idea. So that's sun for you. The moon. When I tell you, and anyone in my personal life can vouch for this, I am obsessed with the moon. Completely obsessed. If there is an opportunity where I can just stand or sit and just stare at the moon for hours upon end, I will do so. I am never happier than when I am looking at the moon. So for me, I probably would say that I lean into the moon archetype because of that reason. So let's get into it. Of course, you have blacks and whites. You have the midnight sky, the white moon. You also have silvers and greys. But I think a really fun thing that you can explore with the moon is, if you don't want the big luminosity energy of the moon, right, when it's full and it's big and it's bright, play with the new moon. Play with the crescents. Play with the different phases of the moon. You know, do you want to wear predominantly black and be the new moon? Do you want to wear predominantly white and be the new moon? Do you want to wear a mix of both and be, you know, the halfway point? Do you want to wear predominantly black with a hint of white and be a crescent? I also think blues are really, really powerful because if you are worried that black is too ponient and it's not something that you feel comfortable wearing all the time, navy blues are beautiful. Because when you look at the sky, particularly if you look at an image of the moon, when it illuminates the sky, if you really, really look at it, the circumference around the moon tends to have a blue sheen to it. And so play into it. Play with the different shades of blue. I also think in terms of fabrications, velvet. There is something about velvet that just reminds me of nighttime. It's soft, it's thick, it's luxurious. There's a glamour to it that you just can't quite put anywhere else. I also think of sheer fabrics like organza or even tulle. When I think of the moon, that's also really beautiful is pearls. Play with pearls, play with pearl necklaces, pearl bracelets, earrings, pearlescent accents on clothing. Also, the motif of time I think is really, really fun when it comes to the moon. Playing with watch stacks or having, and I've always wanted one of these, but like those chokers that are made out of watches, they're to die for. If anyone knows where I can get one, please let me know. And of course, glitter. Glitter, 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 glitter. Like, think about the way that the moon shines on the ocean, where it just draws you in and you just want to dive in. It's like this hypnotic energy. Play into that. Also, another thing that would be really fun if you want to go into a really darker, more alternative style, dark lipsticks. Wear the black gloss, wear the black lipstick, wear the dark reds. Mercury. Mercury is gorgeous. I love Mercury. When I was doing research for this and I was looking at photos of Mercury, I was like, you literally look like a mermaid, had a baby with an alien, and turned into a planet. There's so much holographic beauty in Mercury, in the photos of Mercury. In terms of colorization, I found that it's a lot of blues, but they're not as rich as the moon. The moon, when it came to the blues, was those midnight blues. It was the cool, deep, dark blues. Mercury is more of the powder blues, the periwinkles, there's a little bit of navy in there, but it's mainly on the light spectrum of blue. There's also hints of gold in it, which I think, again, blue and gold, there's such a beautiful contrast in that because one is cool toned, one is warm toned, and so when you put them together, there's that beautiful contrast that I think speaks really well to Mercury, because if you look into astrology, Mercury is the talker, it's the explainer, it's fast, it's quick, and so I think having that beautiful contrast really works well. If you want to work in the holographic realm and the energy in terms of fabrications, I think of, again, holographic films. Organza is absolutely beautiful for this. Okay, so the one photo that I have, which I'll put up here, is like this, I don't even know what the fabric is, but it's this beautiful, it actually does remind me of glow mesh, like the shimmery fabric, and I have something in it, but I cannot remember what it's called, and it's gorgeous to wear. Oh, another thing, I don't know why, but I get the energy with Mercury of like, you know, like silk pajama sets and robes. Again, Mercury gives me that energy. It's just very, again, mermaid-like. There's something mermaid about Mercury to me. This one is for my fiery people. This one is for my like dark feminine types. You are going to love this. Mars. Mars, so much fun. The archetype of Mars in terms of fashion, I love her. I love her. Automatically, of course, you have red, black, gold. Gorgeous color combination, absolutely stunning. There are so many different points of red that you can also play with too, depending on your coloring, on your tastes, what you like. I personally love a cool red. I know some people really love like that true fire, like orange tone of red, which obviously works so well with Mars. And I also, when looking at Mars, I actually got the inspiration from Dune. I've never watched the film, but like that whole kind of desert dystopian feeling, I really feel like that connects with Mars so well. Another thing that I think you can really play into when doing research about Mars, it's actually poisonous. There's something in the surface of Mars that has a level of poison. And so reading that, I was like, oh my god, you could play into, you know, snake prints and spider motifs and frog motifs. And you could even do, I'll put the photo on the screen, like a beautiful like black lip liner with a nude lip gloss to really give that like poisoned look. In terms of fabric, again, velvet, but also satin, but like a thick, like a heavy duty satin. Gorgeous for Mars. Materials in terms of metal, 100% gold, bronze, but I also think you could play with different stones, like black onyx. You could even do malachite, which is like this beautiful green, but really play into, I also kind of get like a Medusa kind of energy with Mars. I don't know where that's coming from as I'm saying it, but there you go. Play with the Medusa archetype if you feel called to. But 100%, if you want to go into this, wear full red outfits. Wear the red lips. Be that like, oh, okay, perfect outfit. I'll put it on the screen. If we go back to like Riverdale days, right? So like, I can't even remember what season it was. I think it was season 2. Alice, who is Betty's mum, in this particular outfit screams Mars to me, right? She's got like the golden snake necklace from memory. She's got the leopard print. She's got the red lips. She is Mars, okay? Let's do Venus. Who doesn't love Venus? Honestly, like Venus is for my like girly girls, right? But I think you can also play into a bit of darkness with Venus. But going off just the planet itself, because that's all we're doing. We're not going into astrology. We're not going into what the planet represents. We are merely going off like what the actual planet looks like. And Venus has, it's such an interesting thing because it can either look pink and purple or it can look like a pearl, like a true beautiful pink pearlescent pearl. Way to go for describing. I think a really beautiful look that you could do if you want to encapsulate Venus is like a monochromatic pink look in terms of makeup. So have a pink wash of blush, have a pink wash of eyeshadow, and have a bright pink lip. I think could work so beautifully for this. Another thing I also think about is layering with Venus. And I think of, I'll put the images up of the type of fabrication that I'm talking about. Layering all of these different fabrics and kind of having it almost like a warm hug around you I don't know why, but that reminds me of Venus. And then, of course, you have, you know, as much as we can say pink, I actually think that mauve and lilac is a beautiful, beautiful color combination. If you don't want to go for the stereotypical pink or white of Venus, go for mauve, go for lilac. Play with pearls. If you want to play with pearls, this is where you want to go. You want to go to Venus. Okay? Uranus. So Uranus, I wasn't expecting to love Uranus as much as I do. It is beautiful. The color story of Uranus is gorgeous. For whatever reason, I had in my mind that Uranus was orange, but it's actually a beautiful teal and white. This is gonna sound so weird, but it reminds me of like caterpillars or worms, like those like green worms. I know that that's kind of like a disgusting vision, but I don't know why, but I think it's because it's like, I'll put the image here of what I'm looking at that's making me think of it, but you know how it has those like rings? And like when we used to like draw caterpillars, it had like, you would draw them by circles. Same kind of energy here. But so the color story, play with teals, play with blues, play with like mint also is really, really beautiful for this. And then I think the biggest thing for Uranus, it wasn't even a particular style necessarily, it was more texture. Texture is your friend with this. I'll put images up on the screen of course, but play with like different knits, different ways of stitching. Play with, you know, a sheer layer over a really dense layer. Also, if we do want to go into astrology, it's Aquarius, so it's quirky, it's eclectic. So play into it, have weird accessories, like this like glow mesh looking bag that I found, or even with eyeshadow, like play into, if you have like veins on your eyes, play into the veins. In terms of jewelry, I think that not necessarily diamond, but crystal is going to be really, really beautiful for this. Little hints of sparkle, not like big and bright like the moon would be necessarily. Like the moon, you would have like a sparkly button up where it's just like full blown in your face sparkle. Uranus to me is like that little hint of like, oh, I've got a sparkly earring that like just catches the light. You know what I mean? By the way, if you want like an in-depth thing of all of them, please, please, please let me know and I will gladly do so. I'm just skimming the surface of this. But let's now go into Saturn. Oh my god, there is a reason why astrology makes sense, because when I thought of Saturn, I was like 100% belts. You need to be wearing belts. Belts, 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 belts. Why? Because Saturn has the rings around it. So if you want to go in like a very direct way, wear the belts, lay the belts. And the images that I found scream Capricorn to me. They really, really do. Also, Saturn has like this beautiful, depending on the way that the light catches it in the sky, it has this beautiful olive undertone to it, and like this almost, you know what it looks like? It looks like cat eye nails. Like if you were to get cat eye nails that were like green into gold, that's what Saturn is. So 100% work with belts, work with leather. I think if you want to play with leather in any of them, Saturn is the way to go. Also, I know that it's a stereotype, but power suits. Wear the power suits, even if it's like a motif to the power suit, like a two-piece button-up with pants that's like in a relaxed cashmere kind of a look. again, I think is beautiful for Saturn. I also think layering like different, not just leather belts, but metal belts. I'll put images up on the screen, but if you were to like layer them in all different ways all over, like, and use them in unconventional ways, don't just have them at your waist, but have them at your neck, have them around your arm, have them on your ankle. But this is 100% the structure planet. If you want to look at it, looks powerful, structured, intimidating, Saturn is the planet for you. Pluto. I loved Pluto. Pluto to me kind of, in a weird way, reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton version of Alice in Wonderland. Looking at the images here, I'll put it here, of like the surface of Pluto, it's very much reminds me of watercolors. It reminds me of splotched paint. It also kind of reminds me of Monet. But the reason why I got Tim Burton, particularly Alice in Wonderland, is because I think one of the best ways that you can work with Pluto is have a base of white, but then add a little hints of darkness. So think like the White Queen in that respect, where she's wearing all white, but then she's got that like beautiful pursed dark lip. Chains are going to be amazing for this. So I think chain jewelry, chains on the cuffs of, not on the cuffs, on, oh my god, why can't I think of the area of the jacket? On the shoulder pads. Again, I kind of get, watches I think could be a really big statement piece for this. But Pluto, again, it's also destructive. Pluto is the underworld. So play into things that are distressed or have been DIY'd or have been put back together with a safety pin. And in terms of colors, I would say lean more into the cool tones of things. You think very much grayed out colors. Grayed out blues, grayed out purples, beiges. Of course there is that hint of rust in there as well, and so play with copper. Play with bronze as a metal if you would like to. Wear like a really dark brown lip. I think could be a really, really good combination for this. And then for the final two, we have two more to go, you guys. We have Neptune. Now, Neptune's fun. Neptune, again, you're playing with holographics, you're playing with blues, you're playing with glitter. This reminds me of like 2014, like, you know how everyone had that like metallic alien on everything? This is Neptune. So another thing that I also got with Neptune, which is really weird, was bomber jackets and leather jackets. As I was writing, as I was kind of like thinking about it and looking at images of it, I was like, I feel like a girl that would dress with Neptune would have like a dark denim colored leather jacket that's distressed. Think holographic lips. You could also play into like, going off this image of the planet, like cloud motifs in your clothing. I think could be really, really fun. And just layer the blues. That's all you got to do with Neptune, is layer the blues. And I don't care what anyone says, oh, you can't wear multiple. Yes, you can. You can. Do it. It will look incredible. And last, but finally, not least, Earth. Earth is fun. I love Earth. Okay, why do I love Earth? Because Earth, you can pretty much play with any color that you want, because you can find any color on Earth. But of course, if you want to go truly into that like a nature theme, go with blues, go with greens, go with browns. But have fun with this, explore with this. But I honestly think of peacocks when I think of Earth. I think of like that beautiful like blue into the green into the brown of the feathers. And don't be afraid to mix blue and green. My mum has always had this rule that she kind of instilled in me, which was blue and green can never be seen unless there's a color in between. I don't care. Wear the blue and green together. I think they're gorgeous. Also, animal print. If you want to play with animal print, this is the planet for you. Think cheetah print, leopard print, snake print, zebra print. What other prints are there? Cow print, if you want. I know that was kind of like a COVID kind of trend, but hey, if you want to bring it back, all the power to you. I also think of suede. I think suede for Earth is beautiful. Boots, I think, is a gorgeous silhouette that I think is really, really impactful. Also like those like 2000s like tiny little scarves that don't serve a purpose remind me of Earth. And of course fake fur. Wear the Penny Lane coat, wear the big coat with the big hood, wear the earmuffs, wear the boots with the fur on the cuffs, you know, have fun with it. But yeah, that's Earth, you guys. Also, oh, olive. Olive is a great color for this. But there you have it. They're the Celestial Muses. And again, this is not about trying to look like the god or the goddess of a planet. That's not what we're doing here. We're actually taking inspiration from the planet itself. So we're not looking at body types, we're not looking at skin tonality, we're not looking at certain features, none of that. We are simply looking at the planet itself, what planet you are drawn to, and how you can incorporate them in your fashion. If you guys want a video, which I'm already kind of thinking of making, but let me know, of how to combine certain ones, let me know and I'll make it for you. But I love you all so much. Thank you for coming to this TED Talk, and I will see you in the next one. I love you all. Bye.